Coming up next on BG24 News.
One of the most aggressive construction campaigns will soon hit local highways. We'll tell you where so you can avoid sitting in traffic.
And the BGSU Latino Student Union is speaking out against online racism. Find out how members are using social networks to make a positive change.
Plus, we're following national developments today on firearms and background checks. We'll hear with some students with opposing views.
And a look at your Black Swamp weather forecast and BG24 sports. Welcome to your campus and community connection.
Local news starts right now. This is BG24 News, live at 5:30.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The Ohio Department of Transportation is pumping millions of dollars into highway construction this year.
$170 million to be exact. And several of the projects are happening right here in Wood County. The biggest change in the area is the construction of a turn lane in Perrysburg. It will be built from northbound state route to 25 to 24 to Interstate 475. This year is also the final year of work on the I-475 widening project, and bridge reconstruction will continue on I-475 over the Ohio Turnpike. For a full list of expected construction and delays, check out the link on our Facebook page.
Happening nationally right now, the debate over guns continues in the U.S. Senate. Over a dozen Republicans are joining Democrats to pass a bill requiring expanded background checks on all commercial gun sales. College students are also pushing for changes in gun legalities on campuses across the nation. Reporter Lucas Stahl joins us live from the newsroom with how BGSU students are getting involved. Lucas?
Thanks, Madeline. This week, students have been walking around campus with empty gun holsters strapped to their sides. Though this isn't just taking place here on Bowling Green's campus, it's actually something occurring nationwide in what organizers are calling an open holster protest. Falcons for Concealed Carry is a newly adopted on-campus organization hoping to curb the rules on guns being allowed on BGSU's campus.
We are a nonprofit organization that's student-based, and we were started about 5 years ago, and we've been spreading through campuses in the United States since.
Organizers feel as though they should be granted the right to carry a weapon on campus, despite particular skepticisms.
I'm allowed to carry a concealed handgun wherever I wish, barring any government facilities, as in sheriff's office, courthouses, anything like that. I have a right to self-defense. I can use that right anywhere but a college campus because they feel that college kids aren't mature enough to carry a handgun.
Stewart does make sure to clarify the differences between open and concealed carrying.
Open carry in Ohio is legal without a permit. You're allowed to strap on your gun as long as it is visible to any officer, any civilian around you, and walk around any place that concealed carry holder is allowed to.
There are questions as to how one obtains a concealed carrying license.
Some of the legalities that go with a concealed carry holder are, I am given a license. It has my name, has a number on it, has my address, and it has fingerprints and background checks tied to it.
Stewart does hold a personal conviction as to why he carries a weapon.
I carry the gun because if I'm ever attacked, I want to be able to defend myself or my loved ones or any other innocent civilian around me.
In a very busy and populated area, much like a college campus, some students believe that those who are able to carry a concealed weapon promotes security, while others believe that it promotes fear. Student Sharice Bailey holds a lot of concern to the mental stability of college students.
Because with so many shootings and things going on, I don't feel like it should be promoted. Because you don't, even though that they have their license, you don't know what can trigger or tick them off or whatever the case may be, for them just to go off and go in a shooting range.
Bailey also makes reference to Bowling Green's rural setting and to why anyone would want to carry a weapon.
I just feel safe, and I don't feel like anyone should feel as though they need to bring on a weapon to protect themselves, because we don't live in a place like downtown Chicago where you need a gun to defend yourself.
As for Falcons for Concealed Carry, though their organization is a small one, with developments in Washington, it's definitely giving their group more drive than ever. Reporting to you live in the newsroom, I'm Lucas Stahl.
Thanks, Lucas. In other campus news, students presented business and product ideas to potential investors yesterday. It was the first time ever that BGSU hosted The Hatch. Reporter Megan Gallagher joins us live in the studio to discuss the entrepreneurial competition. Megan?
Thanks, Madeline. The Hatch is part of Entrepreneur Week, or E-Week, put on by the College of Business. E-Week happens each year, and each year they try to showcase different types of businesses. The Hatch was a spin on the ABC TV series Shark Tank, in which BGSU students got first-hand experience on selling an idea.
Convince the Falcon investors to hatch their dream businesses.
The Hatch is an event put on by the School of Business at BGSU that gives students a chance to talk to real-life investors about their ideas. 9 students had the opportunity to pitch their products to Falcons or investors. These figures, who consisted of BG alum, critiqued the students, and at the end, if they were interested, the Falcons had the option to invest. Scott Hodges, a student and participant, got great response from the Falcons with his product, Bueno.
I'll get my entrepreneurship on, and I'll create my own. I was asking for $35,000 for 35% of my company. 4 of the Sharks got interested. They wanted equal shares, so each one of them gave me 10 grand for 10%. And so I got 4 of the Sharks all hooked in my Bueno Gourmet food truck. So it's very exciting.
Bueno, a taco food truck, took much planning and work, including 2 days of dress rehearsal for the Hatch. Hatch said he had the help of a mentor, though, which every student also had.
Because what they hear in the classroom, all of a sudden they find out it's real. It really can happen if you go out and you do it and you put your heart into it as well. You see a lot of enthusiasm with Scott. So it's not just knowing the numbers, but working hard to make them happen.
I'm still taking it all in right now. I'm a little overwhelmed. It's freaking me out. So it's just been a very humbling experience. Everything, all the hard work. It's all the 10 weeks since I came up with the idea and put the wheels in motion to do all my research and get everything taken care of. It feels phenomenal. It's an amazing experience. Just feeling what I feel right now.
The Hatch, even though it was in its first year, was a successful part of E-Week, and some would even say it was bueno. Even though with a lot of rain last night, the turnout for the Hatch was definitely more than expected. The marketing committee of the College of Business said the Hatch is definitely something they would consider doing again.
But it's so interesting. I've seen Shark Tank before, the show. So to think that BGSU students were doing that same thing, promoting or presenting ideas to investors. What kind of other ideas did you see at this event?
Yeah, well, the person that I interviewed had a food truck, and there was also somebody else who had an idea, which was kind of interesting to me. There was a student who had an idea for ways to get rid of like insulin needles and things better. There was even a student who had the idea to create a whole music industry for profanity-free rap music.
Wow, it's ambitious. That's very cool.
Yeah.
What was the tone like at this event? Because I know that those investors, at least on the show, they seem very intimidating. So, what did it feel exciting, or did it feel kind of tense?
I didn't know what to expect when I first went there. I thought it was going to be a little bit tense, but it was really honestly relaxed, and it kind of depended on the person. Obviously if nerves get to you, they'll be a little bit more nervous. Yeah. And then they were called Falcons, the investors were called Falcons. Oh, and cool. Yeah, and they kind of, if the student was more tense, then the investors would kind of be more tense and ask more serious questions. But with the person that I interviewed, I think it's all about being calm, because he was more calm and everyone was kind of laughing. So I think that's what it's about.
Nice, and I love the idea of calling it the Hatch, like an idea, and the whole presenting of ideas thing. So that's very cool. Interesting. We'll definitely have to check that out online. So thank you very much, Megan.
Thank you, Madeline.
We want to hear from you about this competition. What product or service would you pitch to investors? Tweet us your answer at BG24 News. If your answer is creative enough, we might feature it at the end of the show, so get tweeting.
An update tonight on the racially charged tweets connected to the university. Latino Student Union members met last night in the Bowen Thompson Student Union to talk about the offensive tweets. Topics of discussion ranged from the incident's effect on the BGSU community to administration reaction. Students came together to raise awareness about the issue and to give the Latino community a chance to be heard. LSU President Adriana Darris stresses that students must be informed when dealing with situations like these.
They don't want to generalize an entire sorority, entire organization for a couple people's actions. So I think that when you're thinking about which events should I support, what I'm going to say about certain people, certain organizations, think about the fact that the reason this started was because one person generalized over an entire community, and that is wrong.
The Latino Student Union still has faith in social media. They encourage students to use the hashtag #NotInOurTown to get involved in the conversation in a positive way. Dale, the weather started off beautiful this week. What happened? Why is it raining outside?
What did you do? I wish I could have made it warmer, but unfortunately temperatures are really chilly. They're a little bit below 40 degrees, which is definitely chillier than about 70 degrees from a few days ago. Winds are coming in from the east-northeast at 18 miles per hour and gusting up to 26 miles per hour at their strongest, so definitely not nice weather. Stay tuned later and I'll be sure to tell you how the temperatures will be for Sibs and Kids weekend.
Thank you so much, Dale. Coming up next.
A local bar and grill owner says he has the key to making a good burger. Find out how the owner of Revan's does it.
But first, Dance Marathon raised more money than ever before this year. We'll talk with Dance Marathon organizers live in the studio about the fundraiser's promising future. Stay with us.
Dance Marathon raised more than $300,000 this year for the Children's Miracle Network in Toledo. Members of Dance Marathon joined Parminder Bunga live in the studio to talk about the record-breaking amount. Parminder?
Thank you so much, Madeline. Right now, Megan Leese, the director of Dance Marathon, joins me today. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, it's cold and rainy outside and you're here, so thank you so much. Megan, for people who aren't aware of what Dance Marathon is, would you mind explaining what Dance Marathon is and why it's one of the most important events of the year?
Sure. Dance Marathon is a year-round philanthropy, so we don't just raise money this weekend. It's one of our most popular events, but we actually start as soon as the other event was over. We're starting next year already. So we have different events. We have the 32-hour finale. We also have Bike for Tykes, so we have bikers that ride 180 miles from Cincinnati all the way back to BG. We also have Extra Life, so that's a 12-hour video game marathon. Just a whole lot of events throughout the year, all to raise money for Mercy Children's Hospital in Toledo.
Okay, and how did you become the director of this event? How did you get to this position?
It's been a long process. I've actually been involved all 4 years. My freshman year, I was a dancer, and after that, I just fell in love. So I started on steering as the fundraising chair. Last year, I was the assistant director of financial affairs, and this year, here I am as the director. I'm very blessed. So.
And how much planning went into this? Because I mean, you were up for a long time. You were running all over the place. So how much planning went into this?
It's, like I said, it's a year-round process. So we actually have 4 branches that are in charge of different things. So we have external, which focuses on reaching out to the community and to the families that have had experiences at the hospital. We have internal, who focuses on the student participants. Financial affairs, obviously, they focus on the money. And then, of course, planning. So they spend the whole year planning this event.
Wow, wow. And you raised more money than ever, $300,000 around there. So how does that feel? Like all your hard work
It's quite exciting. I guess I'm still kind of in shock, actually. But my freshman year, we had raised $150,000, and so just to think that we've doubled that within my experience here at BGSU is amazing. And we were actually able to reveal our 18-year total. So that's something we've never done before. It was our first time. But
and how much is that?
We have raised over $3 million now in our 18 years for the hospital. So it's very, very exciting.
And what do you plan on doing next year to make this event even bigger and better?
Well, I don't know if it's a planned thing exactly, but we will actually not be in the rec center next year, which will be the first year for that because they'll be under renovation for Dance Marathon's time period. So we're still looking into where we're going to move our event to, but that's going to be a big change for us, and it'll hopefully hold a lot of new opportunities as well.
Okay, and have you caught up on your sleep? I know you were up for the longest time.
I'm still catching up. I'm actually in student teaching, so it's easier said than done to catch up on the sleep, but I know that just remembering the weekend is enough to get me through anything. So.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, and we loved covering the event, so thank you for having us there. Thank you so much. And coming up next, Dale Summers will have your weather for you, so please stay with us.
Now, Wood County's live local forecast with BG24 Black Swamp Weather.
Good evening, Wood County. I am Dale Summers here with your Black Swamp Weather forecast. Current temperatures stand a little bit below 40 degrees, so definitely a lot colder than the nice sunny 70-degree weather from a few days ago. It's very cloudy outside and winds are strong, coming in from the east-northeast at 18 miles per hour, gusting at their strongest up to 26 miles per hour. So it feels a lot colder outside at about 30 degrees. You know, very chilly. Tonight temperatures will be dropping a few degrees. Chance of precipitation stands at 90%, so we'll be seeing some rain into the night. Winds are coming in from the north at 19 miles per hour, gusting up to 30 miles per hour at their strongest. So definitely rain, chilly, snow, not nice weather outside. Tomorrow, weather will actually get quite nicer, with temperatures increasing up to the low 50s and chance of precipitation dropping down to about 10%. Winds are coming in from the southwest at 18 miles per hour, gusting up to about 30 miles per hour at their strongest. So still very windy outside. Tomorrow night temperatures will be dropping down to the mid-30s. Chance of precipitation will still stay low at about 10%. So hopefully we will not be seeing any rain. I'm pretty sure everyone's done with rain. And winds will be coming in from the southwest at about 14 miles per hour. Looking at our current temperatures, we can see that around the Toledo area, temperatures are at about 40 degrees. And if one continues to head south towards Akron, temperatures have increased to about 50 degrees. And if one heads even further east over towards Pittsburgh, temperatures have actually increased to the low 70s. So very, very wide range across the United States. Looking at the U.S. fronts, we can see that there's a cold front coming in through Mississippi, where it collides with a warm front around Indiana and then continues over east, over across the ocean. And there's another cold front that it is coming in through California as it comes to about the Colorado-Kansas border. It collides with the warm front. Looking at the precipitation around the Toledo area, we can see that there's some medium to heavy rainfall coming in actually from the northeast over through Canada. So that's where a lot of this rain is coming from. If one looks, you can see that that snow continues across over to Montana. So a lot of snow, and as it comes to the Ohio area, it turns into some heavy rainfall and then comes down south to about the boot of Louisiana. So lots of rain in the eastern part of the United States. Definitely not nice weather outside. Hopefully that will clear up throughout the next few days. Looking at our 5-day forecast, Friday temperatures will be increasing a little bit up to about the low 50s on Friday, and we'll start to see some sun again. There will be a slight drop in temperatures on Saturday, but they'll start to increase on Monday up to getting almost to 70 degrees. So warm weather, even though we'll be seeing some rain for Sibs and Kids weekend.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much for that weather, and we'll be on the lookout to see if any sun is going to poke through at any point. So thank you.
Definitely. I hope it pokes through. We need some sun here. Thank you so much, Dale. In community news tonight, a downtown Bowling Green restaurant gets its product locally instead of having it shipped from far away. Reporter Jacqueline Gideon tells us what makes Reverence different from other restaurants.
Reverence in Bowling Green strays from buying meat from big businesses. All of its meat comes from less than 15 miles down the road. Co-owner Garrett Jones picks up the meat 4 times a week. That means the burger on your plate is aged less than 10 days.
It's just a better quality product. I mean, I feel more proud to serve something like that versus here's some pre-pattied burgers I got that came in frozen.
Jones says he likes that Frobos is willing to work with his specialty orders. On average, Reverence buys 60 pounds of burger and 25 pounds of bacon from Frobos Meat Locker. Frobos Meat Locker raises cattle without hormones or antibiotics. Operations manager Ben Frobos says the two businesses help promote each other.
They'll come to us and say, oh, you should go to this one place in Bowling Green called Reverence. And we just kind of smile and say, oh yeah, how's the burgers? And you know, they're so good, and it's a good feeling.
Frobos and Reverence have been working together for 2 years. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Jacqueline Gideon.
Jones and his brother opened Reverence Bar and Grill in 2007. They've been getting their product locally for 2 years.
Back on campus now, Faculty Association President David Jackson says he is optimistic about the faculty's vote on a contract with the BGSU administration. The voting window opened online yesterday and closes tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. The contract will take effect on May 1st if a majority of the Faculty Association votes in favor of its terms. The BGSU Board of Trustees is also required to vote on the contract. For a full copy of the contract, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/BG24News.
President Mary Ellen Mazie presented some updates for the school's strategic plan yesterday. Mazie once again outlined her vision and mission for the university. Though it was much of the same, there were some changes. She added and highlighted the goal to create a culture of inclusion at BGSU. This comes on the heels of a school investigation of racially charged tweets sent by BGSU students. Mazie says the changes and the plan as a whole were a collaborative effort.
We've reached out to, first of all, we started revising it about the first of the year, so back in January, and we've reached out to all constituency groups. And that means the student government, and discussed it with them, also the faculty senate, and it's been discussed with them, and it's been discussed with the administrative staff, the classified staff, and then we have a group that represents everyone of those groups in the university called University Council and the cabinet members, and they've all been working on it too.
President Mazie is also expected to speak a week from today at the ribbon cutting ceremony. It will celebrate a new BGSU convention and visitors bureau near the I-75 exit.
Keeping young ones entertained is a difficult task, but BGSU Student Affairs is trying its best to keep them busy. This weekend is the 15th annual Sibs and Kids Weekend. This year, they're calling it Camp Falcon. The school is holding dozens of family-friendly events for the camp. The event includes a pie-in-the-face activity on Saturday morning, a laser tag tournament on Saturday evening, and a Hunger Games training session late Saturday night. For a complete list of Sibs and Kids events, check out our Facebook page. And I'm sure there are some sports events for Sibs and Kids as well. To find out, let's go to Kelly Hart with a look at sports this weekend. Kelly?
Softball, tennis, and even football will be competing on campus this weekend. I'll have all of the details of that and more when we return. Stay with us.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome to BG24 Sports. I'm Kelly Hart. Falcon baseball picked up a midweek win on Tuesday as they traveled to Ball State. The Cardinals jumped to an early 4-2 lead, but the Falcons came up big in the 6th inning and scored 5 straight base hits. BG goes on to win it 7-5, improving their record to 8-19. The Falcons travel to Toledo this weekend for a 3-game series with the Rockets. Over to softball, the Falcons traveled to Valpo on Tuesday for a 2-game series with the Crusaders. BG came up big, earning 2 wins. Falcons won 6-3 in the first match up and held the Crusaders scoreless in the second, and the score was 5-0. With the win, BG improves to 20-12. The Falcons will play at home this weekend, hosting Buffalo for a doubleheader on Friday. First pitch is scheduled for 1. Falcon tennis will close up their home season this coming weekend. BG will host Ball State on Friday and Miami University on Saturday. Both matches will begin at 1 o'clock here at BGSU. Now we have a special look at Falcon swimming. Good talent plus good coaching equals athletic success. That was proven this season by the Bowling Green State University swim team. The Falcons finished 3rd in the Mid-American Conference Championship and set a new school record in 3 events during the meet. Nathan Dudzik has her story.
Attending a university out of state can be tough for anyone, but for freshman swimmer Daniela Carrillo, things are a little tougher.
College swimming is pretty different. Dual meets are something I've never done before. They're so quick.
Growing up in Hermosillo, Sonora, located in Mexico just south of Arizona, Daniela competed at an early age and still holds the national record in Mexico for the 100-meter breaststroke. Recruited to BGSU by head swimming coach Petra Martin, Daniela has had to make a transition to not only a new school, but also a country.
I came from a different country as well, so I kind of know what she has been going through. I was on the highest level as far as competition when I was a swimmer, and I know that's what she wants. So, I think it's easier for me to help her through the process and explain some of the things to her because I know what you need to do to get up there if you really want to be there.
It's been a whole year, so I've learned everything I had to learn from her. And right now, like I said, I'm just focusing on what I know how to do, and I need to do it better.
Daniela knows she has a long journey ahead of her with Coach Martin as her guide.
It's part of coaching, it's part of leadership, and that's what we do. So, yeah.
Daniela is already making an impact here, becoming the first Falcon to advance to the NCAA championships in almost 20 years.
I actually didn't know that no one has qualified since '96, so when I found that I was like, wow, this is pretty big.
She also holds 2 BGSU records in the 100-meter and 200-meter breaststroke, records that could not have been attained without constant preparation and practice.
Right when I'm in the race, I usually don't think about anything. That's why I need to focus on those little details right now. Because in the race, it just comes automatically. You practice every day, so in the meet it will come just like naturally.
For Daniela, many things have come naturally, whether it be moving to a new country, setting new records, or building a special relationship with her coach.
Last month at the NCAA Championship, Daniela finished 37th in the 200-yard breaststroke. 52 swimmers competed. The Falcon football team will host its annual Spring Orange vs. White spring game tomorrow night. The game will start at 7 p.m. and admission is free. And now here's a look ahead of what's to come here at BG this weekend in Falcon sports. Tennis is hosting Ball State tomorrow at 1 p.m. Also on Saturday, they will play Miami. Football, the spring game tomorrow night at 7 p.m. and like I said, admission is free. And then softball is playing Buffalo tomorrow, 1 o'clock, doubleheader, 3 p.m. is the second game. And that's all for BG24 Sports. I'm Kelly Hart. We'll be right back.
And now the wonderful Dale Summers is back for a look at your Sibs and Kids weekend forecast.
Well, temperatures will be increasing, so luckily anybody who's having family coming out, they'll get some nice weather compared to this rain. Throughout the weekend, temperatures will be in the mid-40s to the high 50s, so definitely nicer weather compared to the high 30s that we're experiencing now. So I think we can all look forward to that, especially I heard they're having a Hunger Games thing, so that'll be fun.
Oh, well, maybe some of the rain and the cold can maybe make it a little bit more, tough on the kids and the students. I don't know, increasing the Hunger Games experience. Put them through the elements.
Oh, are you
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. For Parminder Bunga, Dale Summers, and Jacqueline Elliott, and Kelly Hart, I'm Madeline Fenning.
If you have any comments or story ideas, check out our BG24 News website at bg24news.org.
Have a safe weekend, everyone.